Once I hit you with that bad space, you ain't coming back. No control, all delete you, give me space. Like time, hit you with that bad space, you ain't coming back.
Welcome back, everybody, to the series where I play games I know nothing about. But one thing I can tell you for sure, this is definitely a visual novel. You can see it clear as day. Come on. This just screams visual novel. But anyways, we're still gonna do what we do. Play some PYP while we play this game. If you're one of the people that jumped into the comments in the last video, whether it was for PYP or just to say hello, here is the comment that we chose on screen. Thank you very much. We appreciate that. The PYP for this video is: would you rather end every question you ask by saying question mark out loud, or have your skin covered in thorns? I'm gonna annoy the crap out of people and say question mark, right? Question mark? Skin covered in thorns. Bye-bye love life. Unless you've been eyeing that rose from across the backyard, your love life is done. Let me know if you agree in the comments down below. Maybe you wanna be covered in thorns. I don't know. And maybe your comment will be selected in the next video. But let's jump into this visual novel. If for some odd reason it's not a visual novel, no, 100% auto forward speed. But if it's not, we'll see. The language of love. I like the music though. I sometimes wonder if other 23-year-olds, that's a lot of dashes, feel quite as old as I do. I'm only 23. I try to assure myself I still have my whole life ahead of me. I moved out of my tiny village and I've gone to study in a city near Tokyo so I can get into a good university. I'm going to pass my university entrance exams. I'm going to work hard, and then, when I finally put my education behind me, I'm going to get a good career. I'll achieve things with my life, even if it kills me. Yeah, it probably is going to. I just want to succeed. That notion of just chasing success, that'll kill you, honestly. I have a lot to look forward to, and I've barely taken my first steps into adulthood. There's no time to get depressed now. Not even acknowledging their own feelings. This person's a train wreck already. But no matter what I tell myself, it never sticks. Sometimes these words help me get to sleep at night, but they seem particularly hollow and empty when I'm at cram school, surrounded by students almost 5 years younger than me. I really am getting old. I'm old compared to my peers, at least. Age is just a number, remember that. I think I might be the oldest in my class. The others are all 18, with a handful of 19-year-olds sprinkled here and there. Even my teacher, Miss Sonozaki, looks to be around 25 or 26. You're only 3 years younger than the teacher. Interesting. Now that's a grim thought. I must be closer in age to my teacher than I am to my classmates. Not that they really feel like my classmates. Cram school. What a terrible name for a school. Doesn't feel like a real school either. It's a place where failures and dropouts go so they can relearn all the things they should have learned back in high school. Well, then wouldn't it be called like slow school? Didn't get it school? I don't know. Cram school kind of makes me feel like you're like pushing ahead, yeah? Unless they're trying to cram it in last minute. Then I guess it does make sense. We don't cover any new material. We just rehash everything we were taught in the past over and over again on a loop. It feels like I'm going around in circles, swallowing my own tail with each step, like an Ouroboros. I think there's an Ouroboros in Monster Hunter World. I've only been in the city for around a week, and I'm already exhausted. Paradoxically, my days here are less packed than they were when I lived in the countryside. Other than cram school, my days are almost depressingly empty. I get up in the mornings, brush my teeth, and put on my clothes. I catch the train to cram school, then I sit at my desk for hours reading textbooks and answering the teacher's questions. We have a lot of patience. We have a lot of practice exam papers to work through, so there's always something to study for, though the exams themselves are 8 months away. When I'm done with school, I take the train back home, and then while my time away, wow. Come on, Rodolika! And then I while my time away until the night finally falls. There are too many hours in the evenings, and I just don't know how to fill them. My classmates look like they lead fun, exciting lives, but that's why they failed their university entrance exams the first time around. They're too busy going to bars, karaoke parlors, or the arcades. But nobody's invited me to the bar. I want to fall behind too, or a karaoke parlor, or an arcade. I'm too old. You're not too old. You're never too old to play video games. Remember that. Perhaps I could have had a painless time if I had told a few white lies when Miss Sonizaki asked us to introduce ourselves during our first day of school, but I didn't. For some ungodly reason, I was seized by a sudden need to tell the truth, and I confessed my real age to my classmates. I wanted them to know, right off the bat, that my name is Tanimura Mitsuki. Yeah, like the actress. I don't know the actress. But it's not written the same way. And I'm 23 years old. I'm 23 years old. I might be a bit older than the rest of you. Try a lot. But I hope we can all get along in the future. Star. As if. I think I could have made a few friends if I'd kept my shameful secret under wraps. I mean, it's not like I look much older than everyone else, but it's too late now. The cat's already out of the bag. My classmates don't want to associate with me. They don't even want to look at me. Because you're what? 4 years older than them? I can't say I blame them either. I'm only 23. I'm only 23. That's like a complete definition. They're defining their character based upon the 23. And I feel positively ancient, though I'm closer to 20 than 30. And the world should be my oyster. How can the world be my oyster, I asked, when I've never had an opportunity to cast out my net? Now I'm afraid I'll never get the chance. That was like 8 minutes of reading. I'm only 23. Just 23. I'm gonna just start defining myself by my age. Already 23. Isn't that old enough already? But my protests are all in vain, and time continues to tick away. You can't stop age. I can't wait to go to Japan. I sigh as I walk down the street, my hands firmly planted inside my pockets. Today was yet another day at cram school, and it was just as dull and uneventful as the last. I might be living in the heart of Japan now, but I feel even lonelier than I did back in Aomori. At least back in the sticks, I still had my parents and my grandmother and a few assorted aunts and uncles I could talk to. I had friends too, until they flew the coop. Still, even after they cleared off, I wasn't entirely on my own. I knew everyone who stopped by my family's old-fashioned candy store, and people used to talk to me as I counted out their change. People weren't above smiling and laughing and telling jokes in Aomori, even with a loser like me. You're 23! It's different now. I knew the city would be different, of course, but I'd always imagined in my naivety, or maybe you could call it optimism, that it would be different in a positive way. I never believed, not in my wildest dreams, that I'd feel so isolated while living on the fringe of the biggest city in the world. Life's full of surprises. Sadly, they're not always pleasant surprises. Ha! My footsteps fall against the dull gray pavement with a series of dull gray thuds. Everything's dull and gray in the rundown part of Kawasaki. I call home. The high-rise buildings, which don't rise quite as high as those 20 minutes down the Tokaido line, The sidewalk, which is fringed by the curb and lined with street lamps. Even the sky, which looks grim and dark and downcast, is utterly miserable. I wonder if it's going to rain. I sure hope not. I should hurry. Where are we going? School? I pass the gates of the small playground, driven by the single-minded desire to get inside before the heavens unleash their load on my unsuspecting head. That sounds horrible. When not here, it's not here either. Huh? Now, what could that be? Where is it? Where did it go? I can't see the speaker, but their voice sounds breathy and high-pitched. Their frantic words are choked with tears, and it's obvious they're upset. If I had to hazard a guess, I'd say that voice belongs to a little kid. I mean, why else would they be in the playground? I wonder what happened. I open the low metal gate, which parts with a creak, and glance around. The playground is fairly nondescript, much like everything else around these parts. I can see a few swings and slides, but they're rusty with age, just like the gate. It's all very typical, standard, uninteresting. Well, what else would there be? A portal to another dimension? There is, however, a young girl. The girl is crouched on the ground by the swings. Her hair is short and dark, and her eyes are filled with tears. I don't make a habit of talking to young kids, but something about her looks vaguely familiar. Maybe it's you from the past. I wonder why. Maybe she's 22. No, just kidding. Mama told me not to go outside. I should have listened, but she hiccups. Her shoulders tremble. It looks like she's crying. Is there anything I could do to help? Excuse me. Oh. The little girl jumps at my introduction, timid though it is. She mustn't have been sobbing so much she didn't hear the gate creaking or my approaching footsteps. Sniffling frenetically is trying to suck her snot back up into her nostrils. Jesus! She lifts her head and wipes her red eyes with the back of her arm. Do I know you? Gee, I don't know. Do you? The girl frowns. She looks confused. I guess that wasn't the nicest greeting in the world. Sorry, I didn't mean to upset you. Is something wrong? Yeah, something bad happened. Bad? I crouch down beside the girl, bring our faces level. Like what exactly? It's all my fault. You won't tell my mama, will you? That depends on what your problem is. Will you tell me what's wrong, please? I can help. I can't help if you don't... I can't help you if I don't know. You'll help me? I'd like to if you'd let me. Well, the thing is, I kind of lost the key to my house. Your key? I can't get back in without it. And where do you live exactly? Over there. This kid is terrible! Don't tell strangers where you live! The girl points to the nearby apartment complex. Ah, now I understand. That must be why this girl looks so familiar. She lives in the same building I do. I must have seen her in passing before, but her face never registered in my mind. Well, I doubt I'll forget her after this. So were you home by yourself? That's right. Again, don't tell strangers that you're home alone by yourself or lost. Mama left to go to the store. She told me to stay inside, but she has gone for a long time. So you just went wandering? It looks like a fair distance away from home. I got hungry, so I used the spare key and went to the convenience store. What are you, like 6? And then you dropped your key? Do you know when your mother will be back? The girl shakes her head forlornly. How long has she been gone? I don't know. I think she left around 4. So it's been over an hour then. That really is a long time to leave such a little girl at home on her own. What about your dad? Don't have one. Oh, well... Talk about awkward. I'm sorry. Why are you sorry? It's not your fault. Haha, I guess you're right. Haha! That's a terrible thing to laugh at. And how long have you been looking for your key? I don't know, forever? The little girl looks at me earnestly, her eyes wide in a manner that suggests it might have been forever. But knowing how kids are, I decided to err on the side of caution. Why, because it's not been forever? Translated from a child's parlance, forever equates to about 10 minutes, maybe less. That does sound like a predicament. I'll tell you what. Would you like me to help you search for your key? You would? I can't promise. I can't promise I'll find it, but I'll do my best. We should be careful though. It looks like it's gonna rain soon. Right. Then we should start looking. Mama always says 2 heads are better than 1. The girl clasped her hands together with newfound determination. Her eyes are still red and puffy, but at least she stopped crying. Do I deserve some kind of trophy for making a kid stop crying? So, mister? Yes, what is it? I was wondering, what's your name? It's Mitsuki. Mitsuki. That's a pretty name. I'm glad you think so. At least this girl won't make wisecracks about my actress, Tanamura Mitsuki. So you're a boy named after an actress. Interesting. Probably because you've never heard of her. And what's your name? I'm Tama. It's nice to meet you. Introductions. Tama, is it? I guess you have a pretty name too. Really? Sure, it's nice to meet you, Tama. It's nice to meet you too, Mitsuki. Hey! Tama tugs at my arm, her eyes large and imploring. Now I know your name and you know mine. Does that make us friends? I mean, I'm 23 and you're 6, so not really. Friends, huh? Tama's a bit too young to be my friend, but it's not like I have droves of people hammering at my door, begging for my attention. Depressing though it is, Tama's the first person I've met this week who seems interested in forming any kind of relationship with me. I guess at this point I should take whatever scraps of kindness I could get. That's fucking terrible. Jesus! Never get to that point. Sure, I'll be your friend. Yay, thanks Mitsuki. Tama beams brightly. Her woe over her missing key all but forgotten, I return her smile without thinking. There's a lot of people around Tokyo. I see them crammed on the trains during my morning commute and striding through the streets as I wend my weary way back home. For some reason, though, they never look happy. Or very happy. There isn't enough happiness in the world. I'm glad that, if only for a few seconds, I was able to brighten this young girl's day. See, that's what I've been hearing about Japan. Lack of happiness. All it took was a few words. Man, I wish I was a kid again. Because then this would not be creepy. Ugh, it's not here either. I sigh and straighten up, wiping my hands on my pants. Are you sure you dropped your key in the playground, Tama? That's right. At least I think I did. Oh, Jesus. We may be looking for absolutely no reason. I don't know. On second hand, 1 second I had it, and then next, it was gone. When was the last time you saw your key? Tama's brow creases. She shifts from foot to foot, her little fingers clenched at her front. Is she trying to remember through sheer force of will? I guess that's kind of admirable in a way, but I don't want her to overexert herself. I don't know. I don't know when I last had it. I locked the front door like Mama taught me. I put the key in my pocket, but then, I don't know anything else. I see. If Tama doesn't remember the last time she saw her key, there's a chance she might have dropped it in the... She mightn't? That's not a word. Mightn't have dropped it. Let me know in the comments below if anybody's using the word mightn't. Like, that's a conjunction. And I mean, like, the conjunction is set correctly, right? The apostrophe's where the O is. But mightn't is definitely not a conjunction that's normal. Jeez. It could have fallen out of a hole in her pocket when she walked to the convenience store, or while she was examining the cute and colorful snacks lined up on the shelves inside. We've been searching the playground, leaving no pebble unturned for the last half hour or so, but we haven't made any progress. Tama's key continues to elude us no matter how hard we search. My knees and palms are dirty from kneeling on the ground, and the sky looks grayer and steelier than ever before. We even got the bird that's just like stuck in the middle of the air. It's blatantly unwelcoming sky, thick with heavy clouds, which says, in no certain terms, leave. A cold wind runs through the small playground, the rusted swing seat cracks ominously, and the roundabout turns a few degrees with the dull screech of the medieval torture instrument. I shiver and adjust the strap of my messenger bag over my shoulder. This isn't looking so good. I agree. And we're actually going to stop right there. That gives us a gist of this game. I mean, I like the art. I like the drawing. I love the music. I love the music in this game. I don't like games where I have to read absolutely everything, both sides. We've talked about this before. You guys already know. You already know. But if you do want to see me continue this game, let me know down in the comments below. It's not like I can do anything but just give you guys a story. Maybe this is something you want to listen to as you're passing off to La La Land, because I could fall asleep to this music. But until next time, whether you're online or offline, stay focused and get yours. See ya!